Okay. So again, the first thing we're doing is layer masking, and then back here. So we already had a layer that had a layer blend in the background, and then we're choosing. No, I'm going to record it, and then I'm going to keep it out. Layer mask. We want layer mask. And first step here, we're going to click first original image, not the map. And we're going to brush black. And I'm just going to make it small enough to be his eyeballs here. And click. Although my opacity should be 100. Okay. Well, because I have a layer blend, it's acting goofy. But if we didn't have a blend on that, if it was normal mode, right? So if I want back normal, and then with selected, if you click with the brush, you'll see that I'm just drawing black. Okay? This isn't really what we want to be doing, but I bring this up because with mask, you have to be specifically working on that thumbnail of the mask. So while you're working throughout the project, if something doesn't seem like it's being acted properly, it might be because you're not dealing with the correct sub layer, so to speak. So you can Command Z to undo that. So we have this layer mask layer selected with the back brush. Now we drew like over the eye. No matter what the mode of blend is, we should say that kind of fuzzes out depending on brush style you have. And the bigger thing to note here is that in the layer, you'll see on that vector or the layer mask thumbnail, you should see that mark that you just made. It's real small, but if I make a second one, right, you should be able to see both of those. Okay. And so what's nice about this is that we're able to like soft edit here. Whereas, yeah, I deleted that stuff, but I could right click on this mask, excuse me, hit disable. And then it would go back to the original, or I re-enable it and have any of those modifications. Now, another nice use of this would be like if you wanted to soften the edges of something. So have black selected, we could just go and turn this down, like the transparency. So in fact, we're kind of drawing gray, right? So when we draw gray, we go around the edges here and soften the edge, right? Kind of like go the whole way around, kind of soften that. You can see on your thumbnail that it is gray around there. And then I might even drop it down again and real low, and then do this again, maybe 25. Do it on the very edge, smaller brush maybe even. No, 20 is even too low. Maybe just a second time with the 50. So the lower you go with this opacity, what's nice is you can kind of do it with several passes, and kind of like sculpting the edge. Right, I'll zoom in here and like, right, that's just kind of hard to keep working at until it's soft and right. And that's just several passes. Obviously, all things take a little bit of time of trial and error. and practicing. But this is all just showing you like an example of how you could be masking to potentially your benefit. Because say like later down the road, maybe you need that original face to do something else. So you could have it. So in this case, yeah, what if you want that original face again? Now we could right click on this face layer and let's duplicate it. All right. And if we hide the original one that we just had, we could right click on this. Let me think the way in which I want to go over this with you. How about we just click on this mask on the duplicate layer. And instead of continuing to modify with brush, anything in black will also work. It doesn't have to be a brush. So let's grab this gradient tool, which is the only one I really show you for masking. And once we select that, you can see up at the top here in the options panel that what's pre-selected should probably be like black to white. So the first spot that you click down on is going to be black, and as you drag out, it's going to be dragging to white. So if we click on the one side of the face and drag all the way over to the other side of the face, two things should be happening. One is that you can see here in the thumbnail that it did in fact create a gradient from black to white, which black is creating a mask of this layer. And the other thing that happened is that our original drawn content is now kind of wiped away. So if you are going to be using gradient, you'd have to do that first. You can come in after the fact, draw additionally. And not only you just draw black, you could draw white. So if I took away content here, I could then say, oh, I want white, and then I could draw the one eye back for an example. Okay, so I'm just going to go over the layer mask one more time because that's a question. Let me just. All right, so starting all over again. We have a layer. The layer is this mask, or this face layer. This face is the layer we are going to be masking. Okay. We literally click on this layer mask option in the bottom of the layers panel. It's a little rectangle with a circle. It automatically has that thumbnail of that mask selected. And then all we need to do is draw black. So it's kind of like two clicks, all we did right there. We clicked on the layer mask, and then we clicked on where we're drawing the mask. And it shows you what you did, just adding black. So anything black cuts content away from that image, so it's masking that image. And like I was saying before, it doesn't matter what it is in black that you're using. You could draw a gradient. And the cool thing about gradients is that there's also other options. So like you could do from inside out, right? And in this case doing black to white. So I could actually switch this color gradient in the options panel from black to white to white black. So that when I drag inside out, it's going from the inside out, right? And you could use this as a quick select, right? Kind of close. Maybe it's not perfect. Then you just go back in with your brush and you fine tune it. Right? So if you guys have both these two layers now, if you have a different layer blend mode, both of them, what we could do is take one of the layers, doesn't matter which one, and transform it a little bit. So like Command D while on that layer. And we can do some kind of transformation to this. I don't think we need a lot, just something subtle. Right? And that should create interesting effects. Also looking for my rotate. Rotate view. I don't want that. I'm not turned. So you can see, turn this layer on off now. How it's affecting the layer behind. Right, we're kind of creating a hybrid kind of positive component here. And depending on what your blend modes are, you can have some pretty interesting effects. And depending on the layer of these, so like just flip the layer order, and you're going to get a completely different blend mode. Because the top layer is blending into the bottom, and then that bottom is blending into the background. So the way in which they're blending is drastically affects the outcome of what can happen. Okay. What else do I want to cover here? Oh, you guys should have the rock in there, right? So I'm gonna place the rock in here, and we already went through the process of moving the scraps, right? So I'm gonna do that real quick. So if you guys come in here and let's just select the black. All right. And we don't want contiguous on either. We want to select all the black, not just what's touching or clicked. So we take off this contiguous, click the black again, and really get a whole lot of selection. So I'm gonna this up, maybe 55. It's probably might be more we need. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. We're just going to try something there. So we have a chunk of this selected, right? Not everything, just like a certain color range of that selected, of the rock. With that selection, now we can go down and click add a layer mask. And you should see that it automatically creates a mask from that selection rather than you having to manually, make that mask on that layer. All right, so again, all I did is I had some selection on a layer, and I just clicked to add layer mask. Mine has a little bit of choppiness around the edges, so I think I'll just draw a little bit of black on those, which, since I'm on my mask layer, allow me to remove that. Simple enough. So it's kind of like 3 different ways of using layer mask. I mean, I guess I'd argue like drawing annually and then the gradient are kind of the same thing, but yeah. So either creating a mask with a selection or creating a mask without a selection. Anybody questions so far? Okay. So continue. Oh, that's what I clicked before. We're just get this color range selection thing. Never looked it up. It's just a selecting. Layer blending. So we were just kind of toying with that a little. Blend the face layer into the background using layer mask. I'm just kind of reviewing number, what is it 5? number 10. You might have a duplicator in 2 different ways. Oh, that's what I was just talking about, a different way. I guess I should have those back to back. Confuse myself. We just have one more thing to cover, really. And that's going to be more along the lines of experimenting. You guys can keep doodling around for a while. So the last one here is a vector mask. As I speak, my throat is like tickling, rattling. It's rough. So we can do this in a couple different ways. I'll show you both the ways that you approach. We really aren't necessarily using type in this image. You can if you want. The one thing I would kind of steer away from is using type graphically, because we're going to be doing in the next project. I would think more this active, like an abstract way. I want to use type as like a headline or something that's directly like telling your viewer, right? Again, it's more like the next project more so. Could be using it here in an abstract way. So let's go ahead and turn all of our layers except our background. We'll do and 0 to our canvas. And then let's place our hand layer here. So place it, the hand. And just for the sake of simplicity, let's turn this. We're gonna try with type first. So let's turn it so it's like it's reaching from to right. And then let's make it a bit larger. When you do this merger, one thing to know that you should keep all of the black inside canvas. Because if you skip beyond the canvas and then we go to delete the background black, what's weird, anything off the canvas will be there. So like this chunk down here would still be here even if I selected everything on the canvas. So I'm just holding Option to center this from the inside out as I grow it. And then hit Enter to play. And if this did not vectorize like default, come in as a vector, we're going to have to click on that and, or sorry, raster. We're going to click on that to rasterize it. Okay. And finally, we're just grabbing the magic wand to delete that black background. Should just be one click and then delete. Okay. So the last class I wrote on here, the word hand, pretty obvious. But if we're thinking about something in an abstract way, you know, like what might I say in the hand that would make I think a different way than, oh, it's a hand, right? So if you grab the type tool, let's click and drag a box out, like kind of over our hand. By default, it should placeholder it with placeholder text. Mine's too big though. There we go. So it doesn't know what size your type's at right now, but let's just put in some word or phrase or something. I'm getting help. In a weird way as well. And let's go ahead and select that type and let's make it larger. So you can in the options panel, the drop down at max out at 72. But any of these boxes, you could just click in there, and then either type in manually or really just hold the up or down arrow on your keyboard. I'm not sure what you did there. You hit Command Z a couple times until you get back. So, did you go through and delete the black background? Did you get that? Ben, did you get that? Okay. If you can't type Command Z, we can open up our history. It was already open. That's what it was. And then just click back until your hand reappears. Right. Okay. And then you have to have the layer rasterized. So if it has the little indicator showing that it's a smart object, we have to right click on it and rasterize layer. And then once it's rasterized, you're just selecting the magic wand and hitting delete.
All right. So it just seems, sorry. When I try to rasterize the layer, it just deletes the layer and embeds the hand into the layer below it.
You're probably doing create clippings. Sounds like a clipping mask. What you want is rasterize layer.
So it doesn't even that menu you have. It doesn't even give me that.
Are you clicking on the image, or are you right clicking name?
I'm right clicking on the image.
Yeah, right click on the.
Okay.
And then you should have the option to rasterize layer.
Nice. Then. Yeah, it's. Yeah. No, it just deleted it again.
Is anybody there? That can help you?
Unfortunately, I'm actually at home.
Oh. Well, replace the layer, or all you're doing is clicking rasterize layer, and the layer is disappearing completely.
So it's not even allowing me to right click the layer, because as soon as I click off and unselect the hand picture, it deletes the layer and embeds the hand onto the layer below it.
Can you
and then it is no longer. Pardon?
Would you mind screen sharing and walk me through?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Because I'm having a tough time at what process you.
Yeah, here, let me share this real quick. This would be
Oh, so throat. Go away.
okay. You can see this, correct? All right. It's the file, and then you hit the place embed,
Yep.
and you click the hand.
Yep.
You hit
Yep.
place. So then do all this and change it like that. But then as soon as I go to click this, so I
You have to hit enter to place the image. And yeah, I'm not sure why I gave you a thumbnail, but right click that. Wait, hit undo.
pardon?
Command Z, undo that.
It completely gets rid of the layer.
I see now. I didn't know. Yeah, so your layer 1 and your background, those don't need to have those. You can right click on white things and delete layer mask. Yeah, just yeah. So yeah, delete that again. It won't delete it now. I just wanted you to undo because I was confused about something. So yeah, you don't need a new layer. You just go to place embedded. Okay. So the missing link is you didn't hit enter. So it's not yet actually placed. See the lines through it?
Yeah.
Once you hit enter on your keyboard, it'll place it.
Right. So I'm gonna hit enter now, and then it deletes it.
Yeah. Then right click on layer 1. The layer is locked for some reason, by the way. So on the right side, you see
the
little lock. Unlock that.
Yeah.
I don't know why yours is locking, but it did delete it.
Yeah. It is now something else.
Go ahead and quit Photoshop. You can undo this, like undo a few times so the hand's gone if you want. Save. If you made changes, I don't know if you made changes.
I didn't really make any.
Do a full quit and restart, and you shouldn't have a problem. It's just like it's being deleted.
Okay. All right, I'll try that.
Yeah. You're doing everything right so far. Other than like maybe you didn't place it, but it seems like maybe you did. Okay. Continuing. So yeah, all we did is this image, delete background, drew some sort of type on top of that. Then you can actually grab the move tool and move that type to be closer to over top of the hand. Right.
You're not sharing anymore.
Yeah, thanks. Right, so we can move this around. If you wanted to modify the type again, you could. You actually need to go to the type tool. You could just double click. It'll go back into edit mode. And you can go back to your movable or whatever you want to do. But then, so what we do is place this help layer or whatever you wrote for the text. Place that underneath of the hem, and then we're going to right click that top layer, and we want to do a create clipping mask. And what we should see is the image should apply into the text. And depending on how you had yours lined up, it might not look like you didn't even read what image was. So if we wanted to further modify this, we could actually click on just that hand layer and then do a Command T to transform. And we could do a live modification of the image while it's in the text. tell mine's even a hand, barely, right? Or you can click on your layer and you can move that. Right? If you wanted to move them both together, you would hold shift and click both layers. Then you can move them together, or you could transform them together. This doesn't have to be with with text though. So you could actually just if you want to, you could just delete the type layer, or you can you could do what I'm going to do right now. You can right click the hand and then release clipping mask. And we can just hide the type for now. Let's bring in, let's place, since we have it, heart, place the heart in here. Make that bigger. Definitely a blurry one. Same thing, we need to rasterize that, remove the white background. Some of this even looks gross. In here, I'm going to do a little bit of feather. And hold shift to select more pixels and then hit delete. Okay. So then it doesn't really matter which order you have them in either. Trying to get my handy a little bit more peculiar. All right, that's peculiar enough. The finger is going to be too big. Oh, there we go. Sweet. I don't even know what I did. But yeah, just you have one image over the other, and then the top is you right click and do clipping mask, and then it'll apply. So like you get the order of them, and then by doing the opposite and seeing the effect. Because what you could do is more or less use the top image as like almost like a texture. So like right here, I'm using the heart as like a texture over the hand. But this is bringing us into like the final conclusion here about this exercise, is that we don't have to rely on like any one process. Yeah, we did this this clipping mask, but we could also do a layer blend of that heart, so blending into hand in a different way. Right? And later down the road, we want to make a change to the heart. Well, we can still click on that heart and transform it, and we can still make those changes. So the way we're using this vector masking and layer masking is considered to be non-destructive editing, where we are not actually removing the content, the original content. We're just adding to it. So like all of those previous steps we were doing last class, like up under filter, right? We're going manually to these menu options and adjusting things. Those are destructive in the event that after we apply those, they are more or less permanent, right? Unless back undo. However, I haven't really gotten into it too much myself. Second. My lamp light kind of tipped over on me. Visually mounted. It's like the kind you clamp to your desk. Only I swiveled it way too far and popped off the desk. Okay. There we go. It's been dark outside. So the point I was bringing up is like a non-destructive way of editing. Up here in the other window tabs that you have, you might have this one adjustments up here. And if you don't, you can go up to the window and then, turn on adjustments. So any kind of modifications you do here to your image, say like saturation. If we added this saturation, it's applying to everything in this one instance, everything here on the artboard. But the point I guess I'm bringing up is that this is now on the layers. So we have the ability of modifying that. If we want to see what we had before, we could just turn that off, or we could turn it back on. If we wanted to apply that just to the hand layer, we can apply that just like I did with the clipping mask. Does that make sense? That's basically similar to just a regular layer mask, only the mask itself is an effect based on whatever effect we chose. And just like having the ability of modifying like this heart, I can still modify the heart. I always go back here to this like hue saturation, and I can continue to modify it. So anybody have questions about that? Using these adjustment layer components, it can make things a little muddled down here in your layer panel. So if you want to work in that way, where you do have that non-destructive workflow, to always have the ability of fine-tuning individual components all the time. And then this goes for anybody that's going to have like a lot of layers, like over a dozen, right? You get to the point where you're scrolling up and down in your layer panel. What you want to do is create folders down here in the bottom. So you create a group, and then you can drag and drop stuff into that group. So like all the stuff for the hand, I could just put in the group 1 and then name like hand, right? And then I should be able to just view or unview that. It didn't go in there. Try again. Interesting. Funky. Okay. It decided that it wanted to go in there this time, like the 4th time. So it's all still there, just a drop down arrow. So it's a little easier to words. That's like the one big key as working is should be keeping track of the names of them for your own organization. So that's something I normally kind of like make sure you're abiding by some degrees. Like, are you organized with content? Questions? I feel like we probably get some questions in. Who's got questions? Let's rifle off you. So everybody successfully through all these steps then, and kind of could replicate them. That's the end goal here is learning how to do all this stuff every day. Questions. It's a little impossible. We'll normally have several questions. Reminder, you could always send me a private message today. I only want to show you guys one last kind of interesting way about thinking about how you're working in Photoshop. And in this regard, I'm going to release this clipping mask. So I have this heart to work with for a minute. My day was pretty boring because I woke up late, got some sleep, which was nice. Up, got food, took it with me, and then I waited for 3 hours in my car to get my test. So it was could have been a more event day, but yeah, food's good. You know, I'm gonna undo because I kind of like whatever I was kind of working with there, and I'm gonna duplicate this heart layer, and then I'm gonna release the clipping mask for it, and then I'm just gonna bring it outside. So it's just on the background here, right? So a copy of my heart. Right, it's kind of a fairly simple process that you should exercise. See if you can walk through that fine. Like duplicating a layer, but then it duplicated add clipping mask. So then you should be able to undo that mask, release the mask with a right click, and then you can reorganize the layering of that. And then just because things are a little noisier, like, right? Just turned off all their layers so I can see just the 2 that I work on. Okay. So with this example, I want you guys to get your magic wand with your heart layer selected, and then just click where, I don't care where it is. I'm gonna click in the dark spot, and then that didn't select too much. So I'm gonna try. All right, so I selected dark spot, a dark spot, and a light spot.
Could you move
Kinda
the
got
brush settings?
Okay, what's that?
The brushes and brush settings is like right in the middle of the recording. At least for me. Like in the screen share.
Brush settings.
There we go. It's gone. I don't know what happened.
I have brush settings up on my screen, so interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, all I did was hit the expose button on my keyboard and went back, and whatever happened. So yeah, we're just making some kind of pixel select, right? This is a rastered image. We're selecting groups of pixels. But what's really interesting here is breaking free from this notion that just because selected pixels on this layer doesn't mean that we need to utilize the selection on the layer. So literally, we can now just hide the heart and select any other layer that we want and modify that layer with selection. So naturally, like we have the background right there. Just click that background, meaning we are now on the background with this selection. Now we could try like an adjustment. So I'm gonna try curves. I've always been a fan of curves. So with curves, you can usually like set the low point of the, like how dark something goes and then how high something goes. In this case, looks like maybe just a dark color would be beneficial. Whatever. The whole point here is showing you that we're actually affecting that layer based on selection from a different layer. It's kind of pretty sweet, really. And if you do the modification using an adjustment layer instead of actually going up through the menus, we can turn that adjustment off later down the road if we wanted to. So it's kind of like the nice visual use of working non-productively. So now you have basically free roam. Let's just stay around for, say, like 10 minutes maybe, and then anybody ask questions, and then once 10 minutes is up here, like a 5:20, we'll go and save where we're done, where we're at, and then we can fuse to the box. I hope that the box is working. I tried to fix it. Nobody could submit it last class. one thing I didn't tell you guys is I was mentioning the other class, kind of like an approach to how you might using your content. So we've talked a lot about ways to modify and technical, you know, processes, I suppose, to execute different things. We didn't go too much in depth with finding content, but so one thing about content is you don't necessarily have to have it all. Like right now I have everything pretty much like in the middle of the canvas, right? Like this is all pretty well like object based, but you don't have to be thinking of stuff in that way. You know, like maybe you have things that are like extending way off the canvas. And the last point, I guess, it's about content is you can be thinking about it. It's not like entire image you're going to be utilizing. Maybe utilize a single small piece. So we were using that image of the heart. Which, sorry, let's go with the rock, right? It's like, oh, I'm not going to use this because it's purple. We can do whatever we want. It doesn't have to be purple in the end, right? Or maybe you select things because it's easy to select the background. Sure, whatever. But you could be selecting stuff for like just a texture, right? We don't need to use the entire image. We could use part of the image. So maybe like drawing a little into that specific motion can help you find content too. Because like as you're gonna be like tweaking in project goal, so you'll ultimately need new content as you go along. Right. So is everybody kind of maybe wrapping up here? I'm really just agreeing that you guys completed this. You walked through each of the different steps. Need to be pleasing any sort of abstraction when playing around. So the big thing here is just showing that you have completed all the different stuff we did, and then the exercises is all. So I guess last call. Does anybody get stuck on something, or times like when I'm learning something new, I'll undo something and how I did it. You got some lightning here. I spent all day yesterday making eBay listings. That's how I spent my day. Pretty boring.
What was the what?
Some feedback. Hang on. You'll still get the feedback. Yeah. Let me just a second. I forgot that you can't use your mic, I guess. That sucks. What are you gonna say, Jeremy? Yeah, hopefully it's for today. Unless I test positive, and we'll be here on Wednesday as well. Kind of like a last minute thing. I guess ultimately work better. If you have a headset with you. But I'll send out if we have to meet again on Wednesday on Zoom like this, then I'll send out an email and I'm just coughing. My coughs kind of sound wheezy sometimes. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and just save this wherever you guys are at. Hopefully you completed everything. That's just a goal. It's kind of good to just play around on file and then just say, okay, good enough, and get on to the next thing. Do a file save, and then sure, whatever. And you can either go to save as or export. And all we want to be doing today is exporting a PNG to submit. So export PNG is fine enough. Hopefully putting them in the box. The first folder I made, like, nobody could add anything to it. I don't know why. I'm still trying to figure out how to work that system. And then, so as we export as PNG, plus just a note here, I can't figure out how to export yet that transparent PNG. They removed the feature. So I'm not sure yet. When you export this, make sure you put your full name. Uploading it. And normally, after you the first, like, can continue on that dialog box when doing a PNG, it would normally pop a second dialog box asking you about transparency. So I'm not sure why that has gone away. I'll export. I see that option for export preferences. So this is just under Photoshop preferences, export. And the option for transparency is on, but it doesn't save transparency. So I'm not sure. I don't even know if we necessarily will need it. I think for the last project we'll need it, maybe the video project. So I gotta kind of look that up. I saved a note for myself. So yeah, after that, why don't you guys try to save or upload it to the box here? Link is on the on the exercise at the top bottom. I put an exclamation point on this one, so hopefully it's like usable now. So like it should be only accessible to you guys or like UB students. And I turned off notifications, so hopefully nobody gets notifications. Okay, so let me know if that's a problem. Yeah, their folder, I couldn't toggle this on allow anyone who has access. Who can access this from a shared link to join this collaborator. I couldn't click that last time, and now this time I don't have the option to get. I don't know. I don't see anything. I haven't seen anybody upload it yet. Can I upload it? Hello? Somebody help me. Give me your drawings. Only download, huh? Well, fuck. I don't know what else to do. I guess I could contact somebody with UB Box and ask them, I don't know, or to find like a demo or something for faculty, but I don't know. You can't get to the page. You should be able to get to the page. Can everybody see these folders at least? Can't even get to this. Okay. So, Eric, I'm not sure. Well, you can, but I think it should be able to. So yeah, when I'm here, like, I can create a new folder, right? To test. And then I don't want to have to manually invite every single person every time. I just want everybody to be able to upload, download, preview, get the link, or right? Like not necessarily if you have more than one upload, load, whatever. So this hopefully will, so there's no accidental deletion of someone else's files without knowing or something. So this option, it looks like I need to be viewer uploader. So I changed it to viewer uploader. Right? Which means, as we just seen, can upload. So I hit create, and then here's a folder called test. Can you guys upload to that now? You want to try that one again? I mean, beyond that, I don't know what else I'm doing wrong. So, everybody says, "Oh yeah, use UB Box instead of in Google Drive. It's so much easier." Well, seeming like it's pain. I don't know how the class isn't in there. So I need to manually create a folder and invite every single person in order for everybody to do it.
I have to
Like have the shared link. So if I invite as an editor, settings, allow users with this to download this item, whatever, can view and download.
So it's only letting us view and download. It's not actually letting us upload at all. Because it looks like it's set to view and download. And not to upload.
Which is weird, right? Because when I did create a new file, I chose as a viewer uploader, which says.
So, as far as I see, it looks like when you chose as viewer uploader, it only applied it to the box above it, which was the invite other people. It doesn't actually apply it to the link itself.
So,
like if let's say in the link settings, it looked like there was another setting that allowed people to upload as well. Like in the link settings. Yeah, publish content.
Anyway, until I figure this out, you guys just need to keep a copy, and I'll let you guys know by Wednesday. Yeah, I don't it's, everything I do has to be complicated, you know. I'm sure it's going to be just as much fun once I get into Blackboard stuff too. So I want you guys to just start a new Photoshop file for your project if you have not yet already started a project file. This way we can have all the settings set the right way. So you just go to File, New. All we're doing is having a print preset as tabloid, and then we want the color to be CMYK. That's it. Because we are going to be printing these, so we do want CMYK. Color space, hopefully it's a little bit more accurate to be working with in terms of what we want with as it prints, and should be on a tabloid size piece of paper. Okay. And you guys can choose which orientation. Do you want portrait or landscape? Right. So you could if that is your project file. Have a few minutes if you want to start it. Otherwise, the rest of this is just work session or asking questions. Is anybody stuck, needs any help with their project, like starting with it? Everybody should have a decent amount of content already. You can do like this scan thing. I'm not in there to show you. I don't even think we have scanners in there in the room. I asked Mike where they went. So I got to dig up somewhere. I don't have a scanner here with the computer. So yeah, just works out. Anybody? I'll just sit quietly unless anybody questions.
You can enter your emails, right?
Something about my email. What?
Can you email this recording?
Oh yeah, I can do this.